facts. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
The views and opinions expressed on Trudging Together are solely those of the host, co-host, and our guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any organization, fellowship, or other entity, and definitely not your boss, your neighbor, or that one guy in your home group. The content of this program is not intended to replace medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're looking for that, please seek guidance from qualified professionals who spent way too many years in school. What you'll hear here is based on lived experience, recovery journeys, and the occasional bad coffee-fueled joke. Trudging Together is not affiliated with any 12-step fellowship. We are simply people sharing our stories and walking this path together, one day at a time. Thank you for joining us, and remember, recovery is serious business, but that doesn't mean we can't laugh along the way.
Take two. All right. We got our stuff done. I apologize for anybody that was here and I left abruptly. I had to take care of something. When God says I need to do something, I don't, I'll fuck around. So somebody needed help and I needed the hand of AA to be there. It was kind of a tricky way of doing it, but a full confrontation on this would not work. I don't know the person well enough. Somebody has some concerns. Somebody came to us, so thank you for letting me do that. They're kind of a heavy drinker, so all I did was hand out some cards. Hey, this is what I do, because we use their business. Hey, we're going to promote our business. Kind of a sly way of saying, hey, dude, yes, I love you too. Okay, Dee. I'm trying to have patience today. I wore out. My last couple weeks have been about nothing but stuff for other people, and I'm taking time for Dion today. It's got to be a Dion day. So I woke up. I was gonna watch the full Bronco game on YouTube when it was over, but I guess it didn't really matter. Everything kind of happened in the fourth quarter, which is what I caught. Good game, good ending. All right, but it makes it weird for me. Now I feel like I've gone through half my day already, and I've been up for a couple hours, but yeah. When things aren't consistent, I go a little, it gets me. So if I'm a little off kilter, you know what's going on. If it works, if you work it. Today's topic was brought to you by Jimmy P. He just sent me a text and Instagram or a message and Instagram says it works if you work it. I'm like, thanks for the topic. He's like, you're welcome. So I'm presuming it was a topic. He was presenting a topic. All right. So, and we're going to get into that right after we do the daily funnies, Dion's daily funnies. I don't know how much longer I'll be able to do this because I've been doing it in different segments at different places. And now that I have to, so I have to watch out. Okay. So why did the mushroom go to the party? Because he was a fun guy. God, that mushroom, he's such a fun guy. What did the yoga instructor say when her landlord tried to evict her? Namaste. Namaste. Nah, I'm gonna stay. I was like, I don't get that one. Then I said it out loud. It's actually a pretty good one. Yes, kitten, I know you want my love. Fine, come on up. All right. Dear Lord, why don't ants get sick? They have antibodies. Yep, they have antibodies. Where did George Washington keep his armies? In his sleeveys. I don't get that one. All right. But we're going to end it on a joke that I don't understand. All right. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I am your host. Do me a favor. If you like my content, do me a favor and share what I do. Okay. Now, notice I put a requirement in there. If you like my content, okay, I'm going to tell you the one thing that does not help. Just going on my page and liking loving everything that I do. That does not help. In fact, it makes it harder. It makes it harder because you're not actually watching the video. Watch the video and then love it. It tells me how long you watched it. And 2 seconds ain't enough. Okay. So I appreciate that you love me. I appreciate that. I feel the love. But it hurts me more than it helps because those aren't legitimate. They aren't legitimate. And I want legitimate likes and loves. That's why I do what I do. Right. So whereas I appreciate it, I really do. There it is. All right. If you're here, please say hello, whether watching the live or the rewatch. We got some rewatchers. It works if you work it. AA is a program of action. Right. Recovery in itself, not even just AA, but any kind of recovery. Anything that you're working on requires action, whether that's alcoholism, anger, depression. There's a lot of things that can happen in life, right? But, like what I call AA is not a self-help program. It is not. We do not do it alone. It is a help yourself program. And that's what we're going to kind of get into today. See, your action applies to your recovery. And your recovery is going to be different than mine, than Amber's, and from everybody else's. And that's where our uniqueness comes in. So we are not terminally unique, but we are beautifully unique. All right. Last night, we had a great speaker. I'm sure Michelle will probably watch the rewatch on this. She's busy on Sunday mornings. But Michelle, thank you very much for inviting your sponsor to speak. She did a great job. I loved it. At one point, she talked about how we are chosen, and I absolutely agree with her. We are a chosen people. Why me? Why am I an alcoholic? Well, it could be worse. You could have something worse. Okay, first off. Okay. But here's my answer. And the answer is more of an acceptance thing than it is really anything else. Because you can help when no one else can. That's why. That's why I did what I did earlier. Because see, Dion's in a position where people listen to him for some odd reason. Thank you, God, for not letting me hand out bad advice. Thank you. God keeps me away from that for the most part. So thank you, God, for directing me, for putting the people in my life that I need so I can help other people. Right? Even when it's just stupid, not stupid, but even when it's just small stuff. That's what I was going for. I wasn't going for, it was that was my dyslexia. Right? Like Amber, she sends me pictures of her and her kid all the time and having a good time. Even we won the Bronco game, and she's like, the Ethan baby showed up, and because of it, we won the game. Even though it was me, because I started watching in the fourth quarter. But between Ethan and I, we helped win that game. So thank you, baby Ethan, for your good luck and helping us win that game. Thank you. It's funny because baby Ethan's kind of a running joke. I haven't even met the kid yet, right? So, but there's a lot of places in the big book that talk about action. Faith without works is dead. There's action and more action. The next chapter is entirely devoted to step 12. even today, even though I'm taking the day for myself, there's going to be action. I'm doing this. We were talking, and then I grabbed a new sponsee last night. They were looking for a sponsor, the kind of guy I help. My gut said to do it earlier when I went live. And my gut was like, no, Dion, that was the wrong way. I listened to it. I know it inconvenienced some of my friends, but you ain't all dying from alcoholism right now. That guy is. All right. So he was he needed to be the priority. All right. But back to the chosen part. Okay. It is because you can help when no one else can. And boy, isn't that a lot? That all you need to do is a little bit of work on yourself, and suddenly you can actually help other people from death, from misery, emotional balance, because you have a solution, right? And I don't know about you, and it certainly is not a requirement, but I live my recovery out loud. Yeah. And I might make some people uncomfortable, but it's the kind of uncomfortable that if they're ready, they can come back, and they know it. I'm a pretty nice guy. All right. All right. So the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous recommends a specific multi-step program of action that begins with an inward reflection and culminates in service to others. The authors emphasize that a spiritual program is not a theory, but a way of life that must be lived through concrete actions. God, they did pretty good. Yeah. AI did a pretty good job putting that together. We got to let AI get to know you a little bit. Anyway, it's a tool. Okay. I got to say this because I keep hearing it. Okay. AI is a tool. That is all it is. It is not therapy. Okay. I'll give you an example. The Big Book. The Big Book is not therapy. It has answers in it. Okay. But the danger with AI, it tells you exactly what you want to hear. It'll even apologize to you for stupid things.
They want more.
Okay. I gotta get more cards. All right. Cards for everybody. You get a card. You get a card. You get a card. Here's the cards. Whoop. Because no one trudges alone. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? But I screwed up a few things. All right. Notice how that's kind of, you probably don't notice it, but it's stretched too much. And then it's trudging together gmail.com. And I forgot to put, but I think people can figure that out. I think they can figure that out. I forgot to put my website on it. Oh, well. What are you going to do? I already paid for them. You can't send them back. I approved the proof. So, all right. So, see, they wanted more cards. It was working. It was working. Hi, Michelle. Were you watching the rewatch where I ended abruptly? Sorry about that if it was. All right. So this is a program of self-appraisal. Not other appraisal. Self-appraisal. That's what the program is about. To make me look at me. Okay. And why is that? Because I can change me. And if I want to make any changes out there or expect anybody else to change, then I must change first. We become a people where it turns from we would talk and then do our walk, and it never got accomplished. We would run our mouths, but we never really did anything. We didn't follow through. Now we have changed that. What is that? That is the alcoholic having the cart before the horse, which we do all the time. You'll start to see it once you recognize it. Okay. Now I go out and do the work. Then I talk about it. That's the difference. And what that does, it brings understanding. Then when I sit there and say, you need to work on your 4th step, it's because I've been there. I've done my 4th step. I did the work. Okay. There are two people that aren't even my sponsees right now. And I have my foot up their ass about their 4-step. I'm like, you done? Are you done? You working on that 4-step? Got to get it done. All right. So the first thing that we do is a written inventory. This is the first action step. Step 4 is the first action step for most of us. All right. So the book describes the process of taking a written, rough and ready inventory of your resentments. Okay. Nowhere in the big book does it say a process of rough and ready. No. No, in fact, I would say that is incorrect. Okay. So taking a written, fearless and thorough inventory of your resentments, fears, and sexual conduct. The purpose is identify what is holding you back. Kinda. It's also there to help you recognize where you're lying, where you're manipulating. I needed this. It is the 4th step that showed me where I was doing that so I could correct it. Just like the speaker last night was saying, even when we were drinking, we were nice people. We thought. We did. We thought that. I am being nice. I'm telling you exactly how to live your life. And, you're lucky to have me in your life. And we were telling people what to do. The other thing that a 4-step kind of does is you're going to see the repetitiveness in your behavior. And you may even go to your space. It happens to be almost every time I do a 4-step with somebody because the way that I was taught and that I do it. You do a lot of repeating. Well, Dion, I just feel like I'm repeating myself here. Do ya? Do ya? Yeah. That's because you are. You're repeating yourself. Do you see it? Look, this is what you do. It's pretty clear. Pretty clear now when it starts to multiply. And what is that? It's the insanity of the disease. Look, see how you were doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. It was just with another person. See how it didn't work. Now we have proof of pudding in here, man. We can see clearly with our own eyes where we are making these mistakes. And that's where we all start, is a written inventory. Okay. And this inventory is ours, not another person's. Okay. What I'm not going to sit here and do is tell you how to write your 4-step. That is between you and your sponsor. Okay. Because see, the thing is, sometimes I see other people's 4-steps and I'm like, that's not how we do it. And then I remember, Dion, your way is not the only way. Hello. See, so I'm careful about looking at other people, how other people are doing their 4-steps. I don't ask them. I don't. Because God's already working his magic. He doesn't need Dion coming in and sticking his little fingers in there. Okay. So that is between you and your sponsor. All right. And then you discuss it with another person in that 5th step. Another important part. There are a couple things when it comes to the 4-step, pen to paper, always. It is to be written by hand. It is part of the work. Yeah, but I can type 65 words a minute. Good for you. I can type 80. Okay. The answer is still no. I had somebody, their hand was broken, right? Their writing hand. And they kept telling me, well, I can't write it. Is it okay if I type it? And I'm like, I really wish you wouldn't. And I see them driving and writing with that hand during the meeting and stuff. It's like, come on. See, sometimes alcoholics will break their own arms to not do a 4-step. That's purely a joke. It was better than any of the dad jokes earlier. Okay. So pen to paper, fearless and thorough. These are the watchwords. Okay. Then we are to admit it out loud. It is to come out of our mouth. Out loud. Why is that important? Have you ever really had a really good idea and then it came out of your mouth and you're like, fuck. fuck? That is the stupidest. See, some of your resentments are going to be like that. Well, why are you angry with this person? Well, da 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 da. That's ridiculous, Dion. Why I'm mad about that? Aha. See, when it comes out of your mouth, it's not the same as in your head. It's not. It's got to be said out loud. Well, God knows what I did. Yeah, you bet your shit God knows what you did. Yeah, he does. But you got to admit it to another human being. Okay. Now, the fourth and fifth step, keep in mind, they're already kind of tough. So don't make it harder than it needs to be. Ask God for guidance. Ask God for guidance. Willingness and prayer. Willingness is the beginning of action. Acceptance and willingness is the beginning of action. Okay, I'm willing to do that. Now I've got to apply something. Okay, I accept this for what it is. I need to go do something. Okay, now the way willingness and acceptance do not work are, yes, God, I'm willing to do this. I'm going to go Netflix binge now. You just let me know. All right. What are some of the other actions? Well, we're going to make a list in that 8th step. Yeah. Making a list. Process begins with making a list of all persons one has harmed. Now, willingness, I'm glad they put willingness in this, right? So, and it starts with a program of outward amends, having reflected and made peace with the past. What is peace with the past? It is forgiveness. Forgiveness happens in step 5. That's been my experience. May not always. Maybe you're in a different step before. Okay. Who are you forgiving? You. You. It's the first person you got to forgive. You're not going to be able to forgive any of these people. Right? You can't forgive any of these people until you forgive yourself. You can't transmit something you do not have. We are people of action. So in order for me to do it, I must forgive myself first. See, that's the action. Okay. Now I can only really truly forgive people to the point where it does not bother me anymore. Because otherwise, forgiveness is about going to heaven. Well, I don't control who goes to heaven. So therefore, I have my forgiveness is about me. Right? Have you apologized to your inner child? Have you apologized to yourself for treating yourself like shit for years? Have you done that? It was the hardest amends I had to make. Did you know that you're also part of the living amends? See? In it says them or others. You are an other. Right? Amber says, I don't know why my phone closed. Thought your life ended again. Yeah. And I'd think the same thing, Amber, considering it, I shut down pretty quick earlier. And then it was like Tuesday was only, the whole thing was 30 minutes long, but it got cut off at 15 minutes. And I literally just talked to myself for 17 minutes, didn't know it. Right. All right. So we make a list. All right, step list. Now, I will tell you something about, see, it said, oops, lost connection. It's been doing that a lot. It's time for me to get a hold of Restream. I'll do that tomorrow. I ain't going to do it today. All right. So in your 4th step, that list of the grudges that you made? Yeah, if you're going to burn your 4th step or get rid of it, do yourself a favor and at least take a picture of the list. Otherwise, you're going to have to rewrite your step 8 list. Now, are you making amends, everybody, on that list? Again, between you and your sponsor. I'm not going to answer that one here. That is between you and your sponsor. They will go over that with you because I don't know what situation it is. I got to keep here. I have to do broad strokes. I don't I try not to get into things specifically when it comes to that because it might be different for you, and I don't want to disrupt that, at least not today. I have my opinions on it for sure, but that's what they are, opinions, right? Direct amends are made directly to these people, wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. Remember, you're an other. That's what I will say on it. Remember, you are an other. I guess I could get a little specific. If I was working with somebody and there was a person that used to physically beat the crap out of them, not a chance. No. What we will do is we will be willing and stand ready to make that amend if God says so. We're going to put that one in God's hands. That would be the way that I would work that one. Okay. Now, if that person says, well, no, I'm getting a little too specific. Yeah, I'm not going to go there. I apologize. All right. So we make a tactful approach. All right. The book advises that alcoholics should be sensible, tactful, considerate, and humble without being servile or scraping in their approach. The goal is to demonstrate goodwill rather than preach. So there's balance here. I'm so sorry for what I did to you. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That is an unhealed alcoholic making an amends. That is an amends being done too early. All right? No way I would make an amends like, I'm so sorry. Can you ever forgive me? No. I'm not going to let no. Hey, you know what? You probably knew this, but I was a pretty heavy drinker. Yeah. It got pretty bad, man. I did some, here again, I'm doing just a wide stroke here. Yeah, and I did some things that were wrong. And I did them to you. So I want you to know that I noticed that I was hurting a lot of people in my life, including you. I didn't want to be that person anymore. So I went and changed. Do you hear the difference? I'm not going to, it's very rare that I say sorry in these situations. They don't want to hear sorry from me. Now, sometimes they may even say, I want to hear sorry. Go for it. Right? Because we're supposed to be sensible, tactful, and considerate. Yeah. But that doesn't mean I need to take more abuse. The only people that I will allow to yell and scream at me about things I've done in the past are my children. That's it. Other than that, no, you're going to need to be an adult. It's just a boundary I have. Okay, that is reserved for my wife and my kids only. All right. So a tactful approach. All right. The goal is to demonstrate goodwill rather than preach. All right. I don't even need to bring up God. The main point is this. I hurt you, so I went and changed. So now an amends is turned into what? It's turned into justice. And justice is the principle behind step 9. Justice. You're bringing your problems to justice. Right? So then what else do we do? Well, we continue to take personal inventory in step 10. Right? Step 10 is steps 1 through 9 piled into one step. And now you can do it all at once. Why? Okay. Now, first we had to break it down. Why do we have to do that? Because there were so many problems, they were overwhelming. It was like, take it like this. You have 15 loads of laundry you need to get done. Or, no, let's do it this way. There were 9 loads of laundry, one for each step. Well, you had to do those individually, right? Well, now that you're caught up, you just need to do 1 load every day. And it's a smaller load. It's not as big. Then you put it in the dryer. Okay, but you got to take all the steps. You got to wash it, then you got to dry it, and then you got to put it away. then you got to fold up your clothes or hang them up and you got to put them away, or that action is not complete. That is how the 10th step is. So we take care of things as they come along. I was told by my sponsor, okay, and it works different for everybody. He's like, okay, you've done this 4-step. If you do the 10th step every day like you're supposed to, you won't need to do another 4-step. And I haven't had to do another 4-step. Nope, I take care of them in the moment. Well, Dion, what about those people that weren't on the 4-step? And then I remember them. 10th step it. 10th step it. Go back and do, or sit down with somebody real quick and go through the 4-step with it real quick. That's still 10th stepping it. You're continuing to take personal inventory, right? So step 10 is an action of continued personal inventory, immediately setting any right, any new mistakes as they occur. Do not let these linger. And a lot of people make a mistake here. Well, I'll just do a 4-step every year. That means you're going to be on the 9th step. You are never going to get to the 10th step if you do it that way, because you're not taking care of it in the moment. This is a day-at-a-time program, not a next week, not a next month, not a next year program. It is a now program. Okay. What else do we do? Well, I do daily prayer and meditation, but then at the end, we start doing service work. Now, you may have been doing service work already. Great job. Okay. Now, in this service work, we're talking more about sponsoring other people, paying forward what was given to you. And I'm going to give this requirement. I can't stress it enough. Freely received, freely given. It is the only way that process works. I'm not saying that there aren't other processes that don't work. I'm saying when it comes to this process, that is the only way it'll work. Okay. If you're being paid to sponsor, first off, shame on you. Second off, that's not service. That's payment. That is not service work. Okay. Service work. Okay. Think of it this way. Volunteering. Volunteers don't get paid. Think of it that way. Right. And then last but not least, we practice all of these principles in all of our affairs. And if you are not familiar with the principles, I probably would. I don't know. Your sponsor should have taught you that there's a principle with each step. They most likely did. Or maybe they forgot. Yeah, that happens. It does. I can tell you it wasn't done on purpose. That I know. All right. So these are the principles behind each step. Step 1 is honesty. Yeah, step 1, honesty. Yeah, but I don't know how to be honest. What's the honesty we're looking for here? I'm Dion and I'm an alcoholic. That's the honest, because it's as honest as I could be. Or even better, I don't know anymore. That was an honest answer. I don't know anymore. Step 2, hope. A little bit of God, right? All right, I'm not going to describe each one, or we'll be here for a lot longer. So step 2 is hope. Step 3 is faith. Step 4, courage. Step 5, integrity. Step 6, willingness. Step 7 is humility. Step 8, brotherly love. Step 9, justice. Step 10, perseverance. Step 11, spiritual awareness. Step 12, service. Those are the principles by which I live my life. That is my new set of morals. And it's nice, simple, and straightforward. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out. And have a day.